Authorities released this picture of 18-month-old Joshua Davis. They say it was taken hours before he was reported missing.
Bloodhounds went to that home. They could not find a scent outside of that home of the little baby.
They had the cadaver dogs. He's nowhere in this area, I don't believe, because there's no trace of him coming in the yard, but I do believe he's alive.
8 people in that home when baby Joshua seemingly vanishes into thin air.
The child had to be in an eye shot of one of these adults at all times.
When you have that many people in a residence, obviously there are people that probably have information and for whatever reason are not necessarily sharing it with the police.
There was a family friend in the house, and that was the last time the door had been opened. And I at first thought, like, maybe the friend had took him, but the police say there's no signs of that. So they said he had been in and out the back door. I thought maybe he could have slipped, like, walked out the back door. But I highly believe that. I believe that wasn't the case either, because when I walked out the back porch, there was ice all over the steps. It was too cold, and my baby's real smart. I mean, if it was that cold, he would have found a way to come knock on the door. Or there would have been signs to him out the back door because it was icy.
We are taking your calls. What has happened to this toddler boy, baby Joshua? With me, special guest from New Braunfels, Texas, Lieutenant Mike Pinshorn. Lieutenant, tell me the latest. The whole story is not fitting together for me, that there are a total of 9 people there, 8 in addition to the baby. And it's a very small residence. We've shown the viewers the photos of the home, and nobody sees when the child leaves. I mean, there's an adult in practically every room in the home that has a door to the outside.
Correct. Yeah, we've received a lot of different calls, a lot of information that's been coming in from the public, specifically looking at different possibilities, different scenarios of what may have happened that evening at that residence.
Now, earlier you told me that you cannot administer a polygraph to the mom because she was pregnant. Has she had her baby yet?
From what I understand, she has had her baby, yes.
All right. What about that polygraph, Lieutenant?
Really, we can't indicate whether or not someone is planning on taking one. I know that she may have given some indication that she is willing to, and I'm sure that's something we'll be looking at, but whether or not she actually takes one or what the results are, unfortunately, we can't go into that.
So my question is, do you plan to give her a polygraph if she agrees to take it?
That's up to the investigators. I imagine that's a tool that we will definitely be looking at utilizing, though.
Out to David Ferguson, News Director, KGNB, joining us from New Braunfels, Texas. David, what's the latest?
In more recent days, Nancy, there have been some rumors that Joshua Davis had been found, most of them through the internet, through social networking sites. People are hopeful here, though, that he'll be found. Basically, what's happened is they see police activity as they follow up on tips. They get excited, post it on Facebook or Twitter, and then the telephone game starts, and that's how the rumor mill starts. All of those rumors have been proven untrue by police.
Okay, David Ferguson, how big is New Braunfels?
We actually just got our most recent census data. Our census puts us at about 57,700 residents. That's an increase of 60% in the last decade.
That's pretty big. But it seems to me in this one small area, this neighborhood of New Braunfels, don't you think if he were there in that city, he would have been discovered by now?
Nancy, I think that's a good point. But this is a very close-knit community. I mean, we're relatively small compared to the surrounding cities and very close-knit. This home is in the southeastern part of the city. It's in a less developed part of town. It's an area that's currently being developed. About 40 homes just in that general area, and then the rest of the area is rocky fields and heavy brush. So it's not like it's a highly populated area of the city.
To Gene Gasaris, legal correspondent in session. What more can you tell me, Gene?
You know, Nancy, the scent dogs picked up the scent at the house, and I think even in front of the house or near the door, but not down a road, either direction. So that means the child did not crawl or walk down the road by himself, but yet they're saying that this is not a kidnapping. They do not believe this is an abduction.
To Mark Class, president, founder of Class Kids Foundation, what's your theory?
Well, I don't know that I really have a theory, but I do know that the little boy did not open the door and walk out by himself. It was a bitterly cold evening, and his mother said that he could barely reach the doorknob, let alone open the door and leave. Is there a possibility, do you think, that this is sleight of hand? That perhaps those adults were in the house and people were referencing the boy, saying things about the baby, but the baby was not there the entire time? I really don't know. I mean, it's a true mystery. There's no question about that.
Okay, put class back up. Mark, you've got 8 adults in the house with the baby. It's an extremely small house. I think there's only 2 doors in and out of the home. The mother told me personally the baby could not turn the doorknob. So the baby did not wander out on his own. All right?
Exactly.
That leaves me with 8 people that could have taken the baby.
Well,
am I crazy, or does that make sense?
Well, it does make sense. I mean, it's like an Agatha Christie movie or story. There are 8 people, and at least one of those people knows what happened. Either the baby wasn't there, but everybody thought the baby was there because of things that were being said, or somebody somehow got that child out of the house and got back into the house without being detected. Neither of those scenarios makes much sense. But then on the other hand, I certainly don't believe that there was a grand conspiracy afoot and that everybody is somehow involved. I don't think that possibility is very real either.
I don't either.
I don't think he wandered off. He knows his play zone, and they had the scent dogs out here, and there instead of no scent of him leaving out of the yard or anything like that. So I don't see how he could have wandered off. The rest, they said they would have.
When you build the